Ah, yes, glitter, the herpes of the craft world. Speaking of pregnant 16-year-olds. She just did. No, you're not the only one here, Shane. You're not the only one. That's a hobby of yours. It's just a topic for some. No, did anybody see Miley Cyrus at the fucking VMAs? If you want to be thoroughly entertained, go home, YouTube that shit.
After the show.
And I mean, I was thinking like just sneaking around the corner and doing my impression, but I mean I'll do it now. But it's kind of like.
That's exactly it. That's exactly what it looked like. Yeah.
This was Miley Cyrus last night, embarrassing everyone in the audience. The only redeeming thing of the whole evening was watching every musician in the audience going.
I'll give you $5 if you know what that's called. The dance move she was doing.
The dance move?
Oh, you don't, do you? Oh
No.
my God,
I read it in the news today. What is it? It's not crumping, it's twerking. She was twerking it, apparently.
I think she's got more hair than you at this point. We'll call this shit one of these days.
She was kind of better off just sticking with Hannah Montana. I think.
Seriously. Sorry, Shane, the only time I deal with people of color is when my wife dyes her hair. I live in Minnesota, there aren't any. I think like every ethnic person in the state is in this room right now, and I know them all. So,
The look on Will Smith's face was priceless.
priceless, every single one. Alrighty, so, if you want more bizarre, then I am very happy to introduce you our next performer. Please put them together for the one and only Ski!
Where's the cheeseburger? Hi.
All right, students, all right, settle down, settle down. I know it's late, I know it's hot out, I know you're all tired and want to go home, but it's chemistry. Open to page 193. This is going to be basic chemistry gases. So today we're going to talk about carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a colorless, odorless gas. It's common in the air at about 0.039%. It is a double bonded, double covalent connection. There is one carbon atom in the middle, two oxygen at the side. Mr. Rucker, you're passing notes again. I'm not going to read it out loud once I figured out that this is just advertising for you, but can you please stop passing notes? Thank you. So, carbon dioxide is present in everything. We expire it, we respirate it when we breathe. Things produce it. Plants, of course, take the carbon dioxide and turn it into... All right. Yes? Yes, Ms. Sieber? Chemistry. Why do I do chemistry? Yeah, high school teacher. Why would I teach chemistry? It sounds like an exciting thing. You know what? None of you are fucking paying attention anyways. So let me tell you a story about maybe why I like chemistry. So first off, how many of you know where Cameroon is? Yeah. I can see the geography lessons only paid off for one or two people here. It's basically the armpit of West Africa. Right in the nook of it. Not to disrespect it, it's a beautiful country. There's two interesting things about Cameroon. The first is every time you go to a computer and you type in google.com and you fuck up and you make a mistake, and instead of com, you type CM, you're giving money to the guy who runs the country. The Chinese businessman realized that because people misspell .com so often as .cm, well, .cm is the top level domain for Cameroon. So he went to the king of Cameroon and he said, how about I catch you in on the profits if we just park every single domain in that entire top level? So, don't mistype. The second interesting thing about Cameroon is about chemistry, and specifically about CO2. So, I know none of you remember 1986, but on August 21st, 1986, a man named Joseph Nikimwe was at home. He was making a birthday cake for his daughter. And it's a good place to live. It was a good time. We lived in a small village, about 800 people, cows, goats, chickens, all of the things you need to survive, beautiful lush countryside. He lived in a pretty nice place. They had a well because they couldn't use the water from the lake nearby. It's a lake called Lake Nyos. And if you listen to the local superstitions, they tell you that every now and then the lake spirits would arise from the lake and kill everything around it. And it's a neat superstition. We all have stories, you know, haunted places, things like that. And he wasn't thinking anything about it. He was busy making cake for his daughter.
Oh my God, this is very involved.
Now, Cameroon is a beautiful country. Near Lake Nyos, there's another lake named Lake Kivu that is even larger. But they're both very similar. Lake Nyos is, in part, unusable because it's actually a caldera lake. It sits on top of what at one time was an active volcano, a long, long time ago. But what's kind of weird about this lake is what goes on underneath. There's small cracks and fissures in the bottom. And through these cracks and fissures, gases seep out. Now, in a lot of lakes, the gases would simply leave. But in Lake Nyos, they don't. For whatever reason, they build up inside of the lake. And when they build up, nothing happens. Nothing that you can see. But on this one particular day, something happened. Sorry? Now, I mentioned it when we started this chapter, that carbon dioxide is odorless. It doesn't have a smell unless you are making it yourself with vinegar and baking soda. But that doesn't mean it's not deadly. Oh, these may prove just a little bit too difficult for the gas to put out. Well, shit.
Aww.
So normally at this point what it would do is it would extinguish the candle flames like it did on a couple back here. I won't actually pour liquid on it. The gas is coming out. It should be building up in here and putting out these candles. And this is exactly what happened around Lake Nyos on August 21st, 1986. Something happened, a landslide, an earthquake, somebody ruining their own science experiment. But the lake exploded. It's called a limnic explosion. It lifted the entire lake 300 feet up into the air, and in the space of a few seconds released over 80 million cubic meters of carbon dioxide. It flowed like invisible rivers through the countryside, and everything it touched died. Joseph Nikimwe first noticed it when his daughter, who was asleep, began snoring horribly. It would choke and gasp in her throat. And he came downstairs to try to figure out what was wrong with her. And he took a breath to call for his wife and breathed in emptiness. He passed out, but unlike most of the people in his village, he woke back up. Out of his village of 800, only 6 survived. Out of the neighboring surrounding villages, over 1,700 people died. Cattle lying in the fields, goats, chickens, everything that needed oxygen for longer than a few minutes perished. All from this. Now this is one thing, but right next to Lake Nyos there's another caldera lake, Lake Nyos. It is 2,000 times larger, and within its radius of effect there are over 1 million people. So, yeah, I'm just a high school teacher that teaches chemistry, and I know chemistry is boring because we're reading it out of books. But that's not what inspires you to learn chemistry. Maybe it's cool shit, maybe it's creepy shit. I like knowing everything. Thank you.
Good job.
Is that pudding?
No, it's brownies.
Ooh, I want some.
Once
You
again
laughed
for
at my
ski,
failed
y'all.
I did not.
Okay, you gotta try.
Again, I don't know if y'all were thinking the same thing I was, but I thought he just had cake batter. And I thought he was gonna do some weird mixture or something that he could just dump that in there, and the whole cake would go, and the candles would come up to the top and just be like, ta-da! Yeah, Dairy Queen does it every day. What's that?
That's what I thought.
That's what you thought too? I mean, I was working on that ski. I want a cake to go and just like souffle instantly.
I just want some brownies.
See that on the
now.
Food Network next week.